Section 1.5, Concept Highlights. The students will be introduced to 3 new concepts in energy content during this section. The first concept, energy is present whenever there are moving objects, or as stated in the student edition, all things that are moving have energy. Students will only have a basic level of understanding, and the indicators of this basic level are they should be able to identify a vehicle in motion has energy. So when the truck is moving down ramp, it has energy. The strike vehicle is speeding into the intersection, it will have energy. They should also identify a stopped vehicle does not have moving energy. So the car stopped at the light or the car at the edge of the ramp does not have moving energy. Grading is for content standards under energy and motion. A lot of this section will be on classroom discussion, but there will also be some science notes. And basically, they just need to be able to identify that vehicles in motion have energy. So if you're looking at video or at the investigation, any vehicle that is moving, students should be able to identify that as having energy. That motion is an indicator of energy. The next concept relates to our first concept in the fact that it goes back to the idea that motion means energy, that objects in motion have energy. So a change in that motion of an object is a result of a change in energy of that object. So if all moving objects have energy, when they change their movement, it also changes their amount of energy. Again, students will be at a basic level of understanding, and the following indicators for this level are they should identify when a vehicle is changing its motion, its energy is changing. And this hard part might be is that whether it's slowing down or speeding up, the energy is still changing. Any change in motion is a change in energy. So a truck slowing down changes the amount of energy of that truck, and a car beginning to move also indicates a change in energy. Students, while watching the video, should be able to identify changes in energy of each vehicle before, during, and after the collision. They don't need to worry about amounts, they just need to know that it exists. So for example, they should see when the truck hits the car and it slows down, they should identify that is a change in energy. So just looking at indicators of changes in energy and reflecting that that is a change in motion. Student artifact, again, mostly classroom discussion, some science notes, content standards, energy and motion. Again, students can record indicators of a change in energy from collision video. So understanding that when there's a change in motion, it's a change in energy. So whether the strike vehicle is slowing or stopping, or the target vehicle moving and then stopping, these would all indicate a change in energy because they are changes in motion. The last concept talks about energy transfer. When objects collide, energy can be transferred from one object to another, changing their motion. In this case, it's also a basic level of understanding, and our indicators are that during the collision, they understand that there is a transfer of energy. Identify there's a transfer of energy. They understand the reason why the car moves from its still position to moving is due to a transfer of energy from the truck. This might need to be discussed with facilitation, but it's very important to even have a basic level of understanding that the reason for that change in motion of the car is due to a transfer of energy. Students should start on their science note sheet to list some evidence of a transfer of energy as a change in motion between the strike and the target vehicle. They might even start to understand that a transfer in energy might affect how far the target vehicle travels after being hit. So just the idea that the distance that the target vehicle or how much motion it has might relate to a transfer of energy. So if it's moving fast and far, there might have been a greater transfer of energy. If it just moves a little bit very slowly, there might have been a lesser transfer of energy. This may be more at the emerging level, but during the last part 2 discussions, the idea should be touched on that the further the distance it travels, there might have been a greater transfer of energy, that there could be different transfers of energy in every collision. And then students should be able to identify at least one other example of a transfer of energy, a baseball bat and a ball, foot and soccer ball. Grading science note sheet, especially for this concept and challenge organizer, content standard, energy and motion. Students will be answering some questions on the science note sheet and looking at evidence of indicating a transfer of energy and what really is a transfer of energy. So for question 1, if they're able to answer something to the effect of a change in motion indicates a transfer of energy. And for question 2, just any objects where their interaction would lead to a change in motion. So it could be the vehicle collision, but they can also use some sports ideas: bat and baseball, foot and soccer ball, tennis racket, pool, ping pong ball, pushing a book across a table. So anything to that effect.